So welcome everyone. As you know, we have an agenda we go through in our family time meeting. That's what the agenda looks like. I actually haven't gone through the whole agenda for a while because we always end up losing time. But I like to start on time, do a little welcome. We do a reminder of our mission. Christine, I actually might ask you to read that this morning for us. I'll put it up on the slide just now. Then we welcome new agents and any guests in the room. So I'm sure there are a few guests with us this morning, and well, you're welcome, but we'll get into introducing you later if you'd like to. Then recognitions, kudos and thank yous. I'm going to collapse that with number 6, recognitions, wins, and accomplishments today. So we're going to say thank you to people that have helped us, and we can also share successes in that time. I'm going to skip new listings and hot buyers. I'm going to skip book of the month. And then I'm going to get into today's training topic, which will be my feedback from the Build conference, together with an upcoming training that I've lined up for you guys from the Build conference. And then we can close with questions for those who want to stick around after. Okay, so that's where we're going today. Our mission statement. Okay, Christine, why don't you read that, and you can then make the comments come to mind.
By all means, Steve. Okay, our mission to build a growing collaborative family of agents around the country who support each other to run strong, ethical, profitable businesses in which everyone caps and increases their personal income. Many will also become financially free through the eXp Revenue Share Program and Stock Awards. In this way, as a group, we will bring positive, disruptive change to the real estate industry in South Africa. Okay, for me, the one thing is it is a vehicle for financial independence, financial freedom, but in a sense of togetherness. The fact that we help each other to get there.
Beautiful. And I mean, that's fresh on my mind, having come back from the Build conference, how collaborative this thing is, how many people around the world have got their hearts set on becoming financially free through the revenue sharing system. The longer that you're in this industry, the more you realize there is nothing like this out there, that this thing can genuinely set you free. And in my own case, you know, it's virtually done that already for me. Now I do want to build it bigger, but you know, there's no opportunity that I've ever seen in my life in business. I've been in business 25 years, had my own businesses. There's nothing that even come close to what this thing has done for me. So yeah, thanks, Christine. Absolutely agree with your views there. Then welcome to guests and new agents. So just so that you know, if you're a guest here and you don't want anybody to know that you're here, that's fine. You can just sit quietly in the background and enjoy the meeting and drink in our culture. But if you are okay with greeting us and you'd like to do so, now's the time to do that. And if you have a guest here that you'd like to welcome, you are welcome to do that now as well. Andre, Jackie, you want to introduce someone?
Hi, yes, thank you, Steve. Dean has had his little chat already. Good morning, Dean. Dean and Marie Thorndike, welcome. They're my guests for today. I hope that you will find our family time something that you haven't experienced before, but welcome.
Great, Dean. And Dean had a good weekend. Anybody else want to say hi or introduce someone else?
Stephen, I want to welcome 3 of my guests, Brendan and Pia from BST Properties. They're busy joining us, bringing their company over to eXp. And Annie, she's also busy joining us, and Annelies Snoek, she's also joining us today and thinking of coming over to eXp.
That's beautiful. Welcome, guys. I hope that you do enjoy the meeting today. I saw a few hands go up there and then they went down. Kerry Brebner, I saw your hand go up and down again. I'll go according to the queue. So Tia, you.
Good morning. Yes, I would love to welcome Mariana. She is from Saldanha and she joined last week.
Beautiful. This, I'm struggling to see the queue of hands. Alette, was it you next?
Morning, everyone. Yes, I've got a few guests here today. Just want to say welcome to Salim, Albert, Rian, and Aleta. And I'm not sure if I do miss someone else. You're very welcome. I hope you enjoy the meeting.
Thanks, Elaine. The Rigbys, I see there's an Amanda and a David, both with their hands up. Do you guys, are you together?
Yeah, we separate. I'm in a meeting, so Dave's going to report it for me. But yeah, thank you.
Okay, welcome, Amanda.
Welcome, Amanda and Dave. They're from Hilton, Pietermaritzburg.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good to be here.
Great, Dave. Welcome, man.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, guys, hello, Vian. Nice to see you, man.
How's it, y'all? My wife's a bit, got her hands full with eating the baby and being on the call at the same time. So yeah, we'll be joining as sort of a husband and wife team. A lot of the guys know me already. Craig, Phyllis, how's it, Courtney? You're probably very confused, but anyway, I'm sure Steve will explain. But yeah, I'd like it to be on the call. Thanks so much.
Yeah, we've got some explaining to do with this one. Ferdy, so your hands up.
Yeah, I've got Lungi, who's in the room this morning for the first time. He's joining us. He's busy. He's on the onboarding process at the moment. So welcome to the group, Lungi.
All right, Lungi, I saw your hand was up. If you want to talk, you're welcome, but very welcome to our meeting. So guys, I'm super impressed. If there's a glitch on this latest update with Google Meeting, I can't see the raised hands. It cancels them every time one person stops talking. So if you needed to talk, you're welcome just to shout and interrupt me. Jackie, I see your hand is up. Is that right? Okay, so guys, I'm going to give you some feedback today from our build conference, but before we do that, I want us to do kudos and thank yous. I never want to miss this part of our meeting. So one of the things that I do and have done in my business is build culture, and I have tried my utmost to build a culture of collaboration, a culture of cleanness, of honoring one another, of ethics. And really, it's spelled out in that mission statement. That's one of the reasons why I always get someone to read our mission statement at the beginning of our team meeting, because those are not just words on a page. It's serious. That's what I'm doing with my life, and it's what I'm hoping to lead this whole team to do. So this culture of collaboration, of cleanness, of honoring one another is important. And one of the ways you build a culture, a positive, healthy culture in a group, is that you make space for the verbal expression of gratitude. Verbal expressions of gratitude are incredibly powerful in a family, in a team, and business. So yeah, please do take the opportunity to do that now. I want to just start by saying thank you to, I'm not sure if Andre and Lydia are in the meeting this morning, but I wanted to say thank you to Andre Foster for hosting Family Time 2 Family Times ago, so 4 weeks ago. Which was a huge pressure off my shoulders as I was traveling. And then 2 weeks ago, Lindsay Bulmer did a phenomenal job of leading the Family Time. If the feedback was anything to go by, I had so many people WhatsApping me just saying, yes, Lindsay did an amazing job, and it was an awesome meeting to be a part of. So I want to say thank you both to Andre Foster and to Lindsay Bulmer for picking up the slack while I was away. Thanks, guys.
Absolute pleasure. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Lindsay. Well done, man. Okay, I think Andre and Jackie, your hand was up.
Yes, thank you, Steve. I don't know if Luke Stead is on the meeting today, but Luke, congratulations with the new baby as well. And then also Lucan has given us the opportunity to collaborate on a development in Randfontein. We're super excited, a whole lot of flatlets and things which are being sold that side. So we are very, very happy for the opportunity. Thanks, Luke.
Neil.
How's it? I just want to thank two people. One of them is Kirsty Henry. She's recently just joined eXp. She was a big help recently with a valuation here in the Cape, a market that I'm not familiar with. Most of you might not know, but I've just moved to the Cape, which is quite an exciting new chapter for me. So yeah, Kirsty really helped me with a big paragraph explanation and how I can pitch it to the client. So that was a big help. So thanks, Amal, Kirsty. And then Shalik as well, who's also recently joined eXp. She's been partnering up with me on a couple of my Joburg listings. So yeah, you've been amazing to work with, Shalik. And yeah, that's it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Neil. And welcome to the Cape. Good to have you. Ashley Rodder, was your hand up? And then I see Theo. You can go after Ashley if Ashley is going to.
No, hi. That was just a boo-boo with me playing with the settings. But hi, everyone.
Okay, actually. How's it, Ashley? Well, welcome to the meeting. I'm so glad you made it. I know you had a appointment this morning.
Thank you. Stoked to be here.
Cool. Theo, you go.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to thank Steve, first of all, for his leadership, excellent leadership, and especially thank you, Steve, for that amazing series of Fred Wilson, which I'm following regularly, just to get used to that English that he's using. It's very, very powerful. And also thank you to Neil Robinson for the stand that he's taking on that videos on Instagram. My son Ramsey is on that first year, is also using it. And thank you, Neil, for that leadership there as well.
Thanks, Theo. Glad you're enjoying all the training, and a whole lot more great training that I'm going to launch to you guys today. So thanks, Theo. Jan, your hand was up.
Yes. Hi. I just want to say thanks and a bit of a shout out to Brian Super. Recently, we had a bit of a coffee meeting with some of the guys out in Bloberg. And then afterwards, he said, don't I want to come and help him? He's got a client who's sort of struggling to sell her house and she's having some health issues. So I said, okay, let's do that. But then I really saw Brian in action, you know, how he really reaches out and goes that extra mile, which kind of also encouraged me to go a bit beyond and to reach into the lives of people, you know. And also just on the way, stopping and just chatting to sort of arbitrary people on the pavement about this and that. And I just think, you know, Brian's a great asset to the team, the way he reaches out, and it's wonderful to work with him. So well done, Brian.
Thanks, Jan. I go the extra 2 miles. That's the philosophy from the
2. That's right. It's 2.
But I think you epitomize it as well. So good to see you in action too, Jan.
Thanks, Brian. I think someone described you on our WhatsApp group the other day as the friendliest human being on the planet, and I agree with that. And we appreciate you, Brian. Thank you so much, man.
Oh, that's so nice. Thanks.
Corin, hello. Hello, Peter.
Goeiemôre almal. Morning, Stephen. Glad to have you back in South Africa. Ek wil net graag vir Ferdi dankie sê. Hy het my raad gegee en ek waardeer dit. Hy's altyd daar ook vir my. En dan ook vir Zayan wat die kontrakte en goed daarmee help. Sy het my vreeslik mooi gehelp en ek wil graag vir haar ook dankie sê.
Thanks, Corin. Always lucky to see you. Send my regards to Peter. I can't see him if he's there or not.
He is, yeah, but he's not in the room because he had a knee replacement and he's not here with me. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, please send him our love, and I hope he recovers quickly.
I will. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Karen. Okay, guys. Excellent. That was great. I'm going to now move into giving a little bit of feedback on the Build Conference, which was amazing. So for those of you who don't know what the Build Conference is, probably the biggest, well, I know the biggest revenue share earner and team builder in the world is a guy called Brent Gove. And Brent has an event that he hosts once a year called Build. He does another one he does another event in Cabo in Mexico called One Big Fire. And then he does a mastermind in Hawaii. So I think he does 3 kind of events a year, but this Build Conference is the big one. And it's all about the revenue sharing side of things, a point which I will return to later. And obviously Brent and Gene Frederick, who's kind of the grandfather of the eXp revenue sharing thing. Brent and Gene came out to South Africa for our Build Conference, which was in April this year. And I wanted to at least show them commitment from my side and gratitude by going and supporting their event. And it really was a phenomenal experience. So I got there and I checked into the hotel. And then I sort of wandered through the hotel. I wanted to orientate myself, and I bumped into Brent and a couple of their team members while I was like looking at the venue. And you can see us in the middle there. We were sort of walking down the hallway towards the conference center. So, because Brent said, "Hey, we're going to go and look at the actual conference room. Why don't you come with us?" So there's Jean next to me who loves selfies. The big guy on my left there, as you look at the photo, is a guy called AJ Maida. I would love to get him to come to the South African event. I'm not sure if I'll pull it off. He's got 7,000 people in his revenue share group. He's got one of the biggest rev share teams in the world. He's also moved to Puerto Rico and living with Brent and them in Puerto Rico. But he's a young guy. I think he's like early 30s, but dynamic. And then you'll see Brent behind me and Kathy and Susan. Then we went and looked at the venue. I took a little pic next to their signage. And then I saw on the left-hand side there, you'll see that's an electronic screen that was scrolling through various announcements. And they were advertising the various build conferences that are happening now around the world. And I saw that put South Africa on there. So that became significant later in the conference as I started meeting a whole bunch of people, because the South Africa is now on the map, not just on the map for eXp corporate. We've been on the map with eXp corporate. Why? Because of all the 22 countries outside of the US and Canada, eXp South Africa is the strongest. We've grown like exponentially faster than any other country in the world. And part of that is because of our family. I mean, we account for 2/3 of the agents in South Africa. And so Michael Valdez always speaks very highly of South Africa. They defend me whenever there's an issue. Michael Valdez jumps to my defense. So we really do have the favor of eXp as a company. But as far as the kind of internal revenue share leaders are concerned, Brent and Jean being the two big in the world, it's like we are very much on the radar for them as well, and they do love what we're doing here. So that was really awesome. That was kind of what the room looked like when it was full the next morning. It actually was bigger than it looks in that photograph. It was an enormous venue, and it was full of energy when it was full of people. But a really cool experience. And then, the sessions were, if you've ever watched any of the build replays, the US build replays, they're all on. If you actually go to our follow-up resources page, I've got one of the little thumbnails. If you click it, it takes you to the YouTube playlist on Brent's YouTube channel. Then you'll recognize the kind of theme, and you'll recognize a bunch of the speakers that I got to see. Oh, the other thing I forgot to tell you was the night I arrived, when we were looking at the venue, Brent said to me, "Hey, what ticket did you buy?" So I said, "No, well, I got a silver ticket, which is like the base level, like the cheapest ticket you could get, which was still a lot in dollars." He said, no. So he called the conference organizer. So they pay a lady called Marsha to organize their whole conferences. Wouldn't that be nice? And she's from a company called Conferences Direct. And he just said to her, "Marsha, I want you to upgrade Stephen to Platinum Plus," which was like the Uber, like inner circle that got me into like all the private dinners and meetings with Glenn Sanford, and all sorts of things happened during the next few days so that's why all of these photographs, you'll see I'm sitting in the front row, because I was gifted this VIP ticket, which was really awesome. And it was a phenomenal experience. So top right-hand corner, Krista Mayshaw. I'm going to mention her today because she's doing some training that I've got procured for you guys. Sales volume, if you see the top right-hand picture, sales volume, $657 million US. This lady is unbelievable. She's about 4'5", and she is just like a piece of dynamite. She does incredible training on online lead generation using like landing pages and funnels and stuff. And she's doing some training, which I registered us for, which you can all go to. I'll give you the details of that later today. There's obviously Jean, top left-hand corner, Brent, bottom, and then that was one of the panels. That was actually my outstanding session of the whole conference, that panel, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. Jay Kinder, it was great to see Jay Kinder up close. He's one of the legends of eXp, was the #2 Coldwell Banker agent in the world. until he moved to eXp. He's now got 8,700 people in his RevShare group. It was nice to see Elena Cardone, just because of, she's Elena Cardone, but I mean, I don't know. I wasn't really, well, let me not say that. I just like, she's building an organization, which is great to see, and she gave a little talk. A nice panel with a little sort of conversation between Gogo Bethke. If you want to follow anyone who's crushing it on Instagram, follow Neil Robinson. No, yes, follow Neil Robinson because he is crushing it on Instagram. But go and look up this lady, Gogo Bethke. She is, I think she's Mexican. She is absolutely crushing it on Instagram. And she's one of the biggest, the highest selling EXP agents. So they asked her to interview Glenn Sanford and Michael Valdez, which was cool. Then the couple on the right, oh my word. If I could get this couple to come to South Africa, I'm going to try it. First of all, they love the Lord, committed believers. He was a country and Western superstar in the States. They lived in Nashville, Tennessee. And then they joined eXp, but she got really bad cancer. Wow. I'm feeling the emotion of it already. And they gave their talk, and he stood there weeping for 10 minutes. Yo. And she was talking about how supportive the eXp group had been to them. Anyway, she's in remission now, but what a story. There's old AJ Mada, who was giving his talk. Now, bottom left-hand corner, the guy with, I'm standing with Brent there, and then the guy who's with us, his name is Vincent St. Louis, how you pronounce it. He is actually, so my sponsor is a guy called Bill Campbell. Bill Campbell is sponsored by a guy called Barton Smith. Barton Smith's sponsor is Vincent, and Vincent's sponsor is Brent. I had never met Vincent, and when he heard that I was at the conference, he kind of looked me up on work chat and said, man, you're in my business. Like, should we not meet? I ended up having dinner with him twice, and he's got a fascinating story. He's the only person I've met in eXp, other than myself, who does not sell property. He only does agent attraction. He's got, I think he's got about 1,200 people in his group. So he's building a nice RevShare team. And all he does is cold call. He cold calls 60 agents a day. So I've said to him, listen, cold calling and the ability to get on the phone, get over the emotional blockages to getting on the phone is a key skill for agents. Can't you do a little session for us sometime on the skills of cold calling? So that may not be something that's valid for you, but in the market that we're in, I think the ability to get on the phone and call, expired listings and private sellers and whatever, I think is a key skill. So I'm going to ask him to do a session for us on cold calling. Great to meet Vincent. This lady is a very special lady. She is going to be one of our keynote speakers at the Build Conference next year. Her name is Jennifer Jones. I want to tell you a story about Jennifer. So for those of you who saw my session at eXp Con in October last year, I went to Las Vegas and I spoke in the conference, and I was on a panel together with Dave Conrad, the president of the company, Michael Huang, the head of eXp Commercial, and then they chose one guy from Global. They chose me, and they chose one agent, the top selling agent in eXp, Jennifer Jones. In the Build Conference, at the very beginning, to kind of warm up the crowd, Brent says to everybody, right, if you've sold 10 houses in a year before, stand up. And like basically everyone stands up. Says if you've sold 20, if you've sold 50, if you've sold 100, and people are now starting to sit down. If you've sold 100 homes in a year, you stay standing. Now there's like a handful of people standing. He gets to 250, he gets to 500. He says if you've sold 500 homes in a year, stay standing. 2 people out of whatever it was, 4,000 people, 2 people are standing. Jennifer Jones is sitting just behind me, and there's a guy right in the back. Turns out he sold development, so he's just selling like Smarty boxes. This lady, because just after that he said, if you've sold a house worth $100,000, $200,000, $500,000, if you've sold a house for over $1 million, he was trying to show to the crowd that we do luxury real estate. If you've sold a house for $1 million, stay standing, and she was one of the ladies that was still standing. So she sells luxury real estate. She just sold more than 500 homes in a year. She's obviously got a team that she works with, transaction coordinators, etc. She's built her own team, but she is an absolute superstar. We became friends when I spoke on that panel in October, and we've kind of kept in touch, and we always comment on each other's social media posts, and we reconnected at the conference. That's her husband, Keith, on the right-hand side. He's a lacquer oak. He's built like a Greek god. In fact, I said, as they took that photo, I said to Jennifer, please don't take a photograph with me and Keith in it, because it's super embarrassing. And he was laughing at that little joke. So I have convinced them to come over to South Africa, and she's going to be one of our guest speakers at our Build conference next year. Yay, he can't wait. And we've got a couple of others that we've got lined up, which I'll tell you about. Okay, so takeaways from the conference. What did I take away? First of all, the content was incredibly revealing. What did the content reveal? Two things that I want to focus on. Number one, the economic downturn of the global economy, the downturn of the global economy is a very real thing, and the US are really feeling it. Now, how did that manifest in the conference? Because instead of being exclusively about building revenue share and building teams, it turned out that half the sessions were actually focused on production, on selling more homes. And that, I asked Brent about it, and he said to me, no, they've done that specifically because so many of the agents are struggling. Now, I don't know how you guys would relate to that or not in South Africa, but I have seen a reduction in turnover in my own group. It seems like agents all over the world are under pressure. And the other thing that it reminded me of, if you look at that panel discussion, so the bottom right-hand picture there, those 4 agents that were being interviewed by Jeff Willems, who's one of the biggest network leaders in eXp, the 4 people being interviewed there are 4 of the highest selling agents or team leaders in eXp. They also sell, some of those guys are doing over 1,500 homes a year in their team. And all 4 of them, what did they talk about? They talked about prospecting. They talked about daily discipline. They talked about making phone calls. They're saying you have to be making 30 to 40 phone calls a day. I mean, that's exactly Theo. That's exactly what Fred Wilson was saying in that training. You have to get on the phone and be speaking to 30, 40, 50 people a day. They talk about the importance of having a schedule, a time-managed schedule for your day, where you do your lead generation first thing in the morning. So, I mean, these are things I've been telling agents for 25 years, and it almost seems like, well, it's back to basics. So, like, you know, it's just so basic to real estate. That's the thing that stuck out for me. If you want to continue to thrive in this market, and you can, because a lot of agents are going to be leaving the industry as the economy continues to struggle, you have to get back to the basics of lead generation, getting on the phone, and keeping in touch with, you know, sphere of influence, doing show houses, collecting your data, having good CRM. It's all the basics of lead generation that you've got to be focusing on in a market like this. Okay, so that was the first thing that I got out of it. The content was revealing. Now, the other thing that was revealing was, of the sections that were dedicated to more general success and revenue share, probably 80% of the sessions were on mindset. And I must admit, it was one of the disappointments for me from the conference. I wanted more kind of how-to practical meat of, you know, how to continue to build your first tier, how to lead a group, how to create resources that create growth, you know, the kind of practicals of agent attraction. But, you know, if I can just step back from my own selfish, like, you know, hobby horses, it was interesting that the big leaders in the world, what they wanted to talk about was mindset. It was about how to stay positive, how to know what you are wanting to achieve. Where's my 10,000 US dollars? Is it here? Yeah. So funny thing happened. Randy Bird, who's also one of the big leaders, was giving his talk. And he was talking about how you have to have it in your mind that when you are making phone calls for agent attraction, you're wanting to speak to agents, that you have got something for them that can change their family's future. Like you have got something that'll be a blessing to them. And you have to go into every phone call you make with that confidence. You can't be on the back foot. And I'm sitting in the front row, so he picks me up. He said, how many phone calls, if I said to you, you could give $10,000 to every person you phone before 12 o'clock tonight, how many people would you phone? I said to him, man, I'd phone as many people as I could. And then he says, yeah, well, that's exactly what it's like with agent attraction. You've got something that can change people's lives, and you are doing them a favor by phoning them. And when he's finished with his speech, he pulls out of his back pocket a stack of notes, US dollar notes, and he throws them to me. And the whole crowd, 4,000 people, went, I must admit, my heart also stopped. And it was almost like slow-mo, this like stack of $10,000 is floating towards me off the stage. And I caught it. Actually, I didn't drop next to me. I picked it up. And then he said to the crowd, don't worry, it's fake. So I saw that it's like it says copy money on it. So it's fake 10,000 US dollars. So for a moment, I thought he'd just given me 10 grand. But I've got it on my desk here now, and it's going to sit in my video frame when I'm shooting my videos to remind me that it's a good point. You know, we are able to change people's lives with this opportunity. So mindset, positivity, having a vision, having goals, goal setting, daily routines. It was all the kind of mental stuff, which was interesting to me. Okay, second takeaway, relationships. I'm just going to rattle off a bunch of names to you of people that I meet. So 80% of the value of these kinds of conferences is not the sessions. So I'm not like, you know, I would go again even if it's the same speakers. Why? It's the people you meet. It's the conversations you get into. That's why you go to these events. So for me, firming, I already have a very good relationship with Jean and Brent, but being able to spend time with them, I arrived on the first day and Susan Frederick sent me a text saying, what are you doing for dinner? So I said, no, I've got no plans. I was there on my own. So she said, no, come and join us. It's their daughter's birthday. We're having a few people in the restaurant downstairs celebrating a birthday. So I went down and I was with the Frederick family for their daughter's birthday. You know, that you can't buy that kind of thing with money. You have to physically get your body there and see what the Lord will do. That's the way I approach these things. I pray before I go to these events. I say, Lord, you put me together with the people you want me with, and I'm going to trust you. I'm going to take the risk. So I'm having dinner with them. Then I met Jeff and Marcy Willems, and they put me together with someone which was very important. I met a guy called Victor Fuentes. He also had a Platinum Plus ticket. He has a very similar size business to me. He's got about 650 people. He's in Miami, and he is building a Spanish-speaking team. So even his website is completely Spanish. That's him there. And we just sat next to each other for the whole conference, and we got to know one another. And at the end of the conference, I said to him, Victor, I tell you what, you've got a similar size business to me in the mid 600s. Why don't you and I speak to each other once a month from now on? And you tell me what you're doing in your business to grow your business. I'll tell you what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working. Let's just help each other. Let's just walk this journey together. He said, man, Steve, that's a great idea. Let's do it. So we're going to be meeting now on a monthly basis. That kind of thing is what happens when you go to these events. If you just have it in mind to connect with people. Interestingly enough, I got back and my daughter, Olivia, has just been to Tanzania. She's volunteered there. Said to me, oh, I was in Tanzania with a 22-year-old girl who's in real estate in Miami. And she's Colombian and she speaks Spanish. So I said to her, well, what are you doing? Like, tell her that I'm in. So Olivia sent me her Instagram handle. I contacted her. I said to her, please watch this video. And if you're interested, I'm going to put you together with a friend of mine who's in Miami. He's building a team for Spanish-speaking Americans. So I would sponsor her but Victor will welcome her into his team, and she can trade with his branding. Why? Because I got a relationship with him now. That's what happens in these events. I could list lots of names, but let's leave it there. So relationships, that's why you go. Last one, lessons and speakers for the Build Conference. Okay, so I've already told you about Jennifer Jones. If you've watched any Build conferences, you will know the name Veronica Figueroa. She is the top team leader in EXP. She's this tiny little Puerto Rican lady. She speaks at every event. I got introduced to her on the last day, and I said to her, Veronica, how would you like to come to South Africa for a Build conference? Now that I got back, I sent her a message on Workplace, and she just WhatsApped me or Workplaced me back this morning saying, I would love to come to South Africa. So for those of you who've watched Build conferences before, you'll know that is a big deal. We've got Veronica Figueroa coming to South Africa now, if she can make the dates. Then obviously Brent and Jean, I'm wanting to get them back. I didn't want to assume they would be back, but I chatted to Kathy, who's Brent's wife. I said, Kathy, because I met one of their daughters. I said, Megan wants to go on a safari. I said, but so you're going to have to convince Brent to come back next year. She said, what do you mean? We are coming back next year. So Kathy's decided Brent and Kathy are coming back next year, which probably means Jean will come back because Jean just follows Brent around the world. I'm going to try to get that couple, Jay and Ashley Nelson. I didn't actually meet them. I'm going to reach out to them, and I'm going to try to get AJ Maida. I did lay a seed at dinner with AJ Maida the one night. One other thing, it's completely irrelevant from a business perspective, but it's just an illustration of the relationships thing. Brent had a couple there that they're hoping to sponsor into their business, and I walked into the breakfast. So breakfast was a leap of faith every morning because breakfast was $41. Okay? If you can't do the maths, that's 800 Rand for breakfast in the hotel every morning. So like every morning was like, can I skip breakfast today? Oh, no, I'm going to go down. So I walk into breakfast and Brent just says to me, hey, what are you doing for breakfast? I'm standing in the queue. I said, no, I'm just going to have breakfast. I said, no, come meet someone. And I ended up joining him. So he picked up the tab for breakfast. That actually happened 3 mornings in a row with someone different. I sit down at the table. He introduces me to this couple. They start telling me their story. And I won't tell you the whole story, but the wife, her name is Robia, can't remember her surname, Robia Scott. And as I'm getting to know this couple, Brent's off, he's got another meeting, so now I'm hosting this couple and getting to know them. And the husband, James, says to me, oh, Robia was a famous dancer in America. She used to dance with Prince. So, you know, the artist formerly known as Prince. He had 2 dancers. If you go and look at his old music videos, she was one of his dancers, traveled the world with him. And then she became an actress. She was in something called Buffy and the Vampire Slayer or something, which I don't know, but apparently it was quite a big thing in America. And then she came to know the Lord. Her whole life changed. She actually left the entertainment industry because of that. And her and her husband got into, they planted a church together. They had a church for many years. Now she's got this ministry that she runs with women. Then, having been out of acting for 10 years, she was approached to play one of the lead roles in a Christian movie, which if you have not watched it, it's brutal. It's very hard to watch, but it is one of the most powerful movies I have ever watched. I thoroughly recommend it to you. It's called Unplanned. I don't even want to tell you what it's about because it's going to get me going emotionally. She plays the lead role. She's the head of Planned Parenthood in that movie. And we had shown that movie to our daughters. Wow. We had a moment as a family when we watched that movie together. And it was really special to be able to just say to her, you know, your movie made a huge impact in my family's life, and I want to thank you for that. Go and watch that movie. It's called Unplanned. She's one of the lead roles in that. So that was just like a really cool experience. Okay. So just take your phone out. All of this, what does this mean for you? It means if you can't make the Build Conference next year, okay, fine, in America, you can come to the South African Build Conference. The date might change, okay? The date we may do earlier in the year. At the moment, it's kind of planned for April, But what I'm learning, if we want to bring people from the States, because there's a whole bunch of other agents that we were talking to over dinners that want to come out as a group for our Build conference, we actually have to do it in South African summer. They don't want to come here during the winter. So I'm thinking of moving the date to kind of February-ish, somewhere in maybe late February is when I'm looking at. But whenever we do the date, if you scan that with your phone, if you're on your phone, don't stress, I can send you the link after the meeting. Just ask me for it. If you scan that with your phone's camera, it should put a little yellow marker on. Just tap it. It'll take you to a page. Do it now because I'm going to take the slide down, where you can now purchase 10 blue tickets, which is the entry-level tickets, for 200 Rand a ticket. That's a lot cheaper than they're going to be. But what this does is you will have a block of 10 tickets that you can now be giving away over the next 8 months. You want to bring people with you to Build conferences. That's why we do this. Okay, so if you want to take me up on that special, do it now. 3, 2, 1, I'm taking the slide down. All right, so training. I said there was some training. I want you to get out a pen, please, because there's a lot of dates and things I want to throw at you now. Again, if you don't know, if you're on your phone and you can't write this down, just send me a WhatsApp and I can send you the details. Okay, so first thing, thank you very much to Javi Rousseau. I know Javi's busy doing his training. He decided, because of the family time, he was going to duplicate the training he's doing this morning. He's going to do it again on Wednesday for you guys that wanted to attend that, because I know many of you wanted to be here today. So thank you to Javi. That's a lekker photo with Javi and Jean Frederick from the Build conference from this year. So please attend Javi's training Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock. I'll be there. Okay, so Krista Mayshaw. This is the lady that did 857 million in sales. She is doing a webinar on Thursday, this Thursday, 6:30 p.m. our time. And it's called Mastering the Market, How to Transform Scarcity and Other Market Conditions into Fuel for Authority and Becoming the Go-To Community Leader. And she's going to be doing a teaching on her funnel strategy. She has got something that works. It's going to be unbelievable. Please attend that. Okay, how do you register for that? In the chat bar, I am going to put this link in the chat. And then maybe one of you can put it on our WhatsApp group for us.
Stephen?
Yo.
The time will be 19:30 South African time until about 10 o'clock the evening.
No, it's 6:30 South African time.
Sorry,
So
6:30, yes.
yes. Yeah, 6:30 South African time. Had you registered for that already, Jackie?
Yes, I did. I follow her for quite a while.
Okay, great. And how long did she say it was going to be?
About 2 hours.
2 hours. Okay, 6:30 to 8:30 on Thursday evening. I've put the link in the chat bar for you to register, and then they will send you the link to click on Thursday evening. Okay, that's the first one, Krista Mayshaw. Then I bought some training for you, which cost me a fortune. Cost me 10,000 Rand. This guy, Bill Pipes, is, if not the top, one of the top real estate coaches in the world. And he's Brent's kind of go-to guy. He was one of the keynote speakers that they paid a fortune to come and speak. Last year it was Anthony Robbins. This year it was Bill Pipes. I mean, that gives you an idea of the kind of caliber of this guy. He has coached many of the top real estate agents in America. He, for the Build conference, he put together an 8-week webinar training series that he's going to be doing live just for EXP agents, and it cost, for each agent that wanted to go, it cost 10,000 Rand. He did say if we wanted to include our teams, we could include our teams. He gave us permission to do that. Okay, now in my case, it's a big team, but it's still within the rules. So I bought the training. When does it start? This is what it's going to cover. So 7-figure selling course will be delivered online over 8 weeks, 1 hour of training per week, including 1 hour role play on Friday. So it's on Thursdays. We don't have a time yet. And then on the Fridays, there's role playing of the dialogues that he's teaching. So you've got to kind of do both. You do the Thursday session and you do the role playing on the Friday. The course will provide scripts for lead generation, lead conversion, and a proprietary listing presentation for sellers. I can't actually tell you that the testimonies that he was showing of how many agents that have started this guy's training that are now doing $1 million income or more. That's his thing. He wants you earning $1 million or more, which in South African rands is pretty good. Buyer consultations will focus on educating buyers about the market and writing aggressive offers to secure exclusive deals. The course will work on participants' mindset, helping them overcome limiting beliefs and adopting a 6x10 process, whatever that is, for daily inspiration. Efficient time management, which is a huge thing, and following $1 million schedule will be emphasized in the course. NLP, neuro-linguistic programming techniques, will be taught to enhance persuasion and influence skills. And then, good for me, there's a money-back guarantee, which I will not exercise. Okay, so when is it? Thursday evening, probably in the evening. I think you can bank on an evening because they're going to do it mid-morning in America. It starts on the 3rd of August. It's then every Thursday from the 3rd of August to the 21st of September. Live with Bill Pipes. And then on the Friday, so it'll be then obviously the 4th of August, and every Friday, there's the role playing. Okay, I want to encourage you with every fiber of my being to make the time to do this training with this guy. You will not get an opportunity like this again. Okay, so how do we get details on that? I don't know. I'm still waiting for the email from their office with the Zoom link to the meetings and exactly what the times are. But just kind of block out the Thursday afternoons and evenings for those days. And then I'll get the times to you as soon as I've got them. Okay, then one other thing. Sorry, guys, I know there's been a lot of talk from me today, but I wanted it to be this way. I'm giving you feedback. One of the things that I decided while I was sitting there, because that's the other thing that happens in these conferences, is your mind just starts ticking and you start thinking of stuff. And one of the things I thought is I've not done a live public model explained for a long time. We do actually depend on the Model Explained video, which you get at themodelexplained.co.za, and that's the primary tool that you should be using. But I think it is good from time to time for us to put like a date in the diary and all have like a day that we're working towards. We're all making phone calls, we're all inviting people, and we kind of get some energy around one big Model Explained event that I'm going to do. So when are we going to do that? I've just picked a day, Thursday, the 27th of July. So that's before Bill Pipes' training starts. So it's in 2 weeks. Well, it's in 10 days time. So it's not this Thursday, it's next Thursday. And we'll do it in the morning, 8:30 till 9:30 a.m. What's the link that we will use for that? I'll put it in the chat bar. It's my other meeting link, meet.themodelexplained.co.za. You just send that. They don't have to register, okay? Your guests. All they need to do, I've put it in the chat bar, they just click that link at 8:30 on Thursday the 27th. Somebody's mic was on there. Did you want to talk? Okay. So, guys, please work towards that. Set yourself a goal. Why don't you say you're going to set a goal to have 10 people on that Model Explained? And then what we will do is you're going to send them the follow-up resources link after the webinar. We always do that after we've shown someone the model. And then you're going to invite them to come to family time, which is the next Monday. So it's like 5 days later is family time. And we always want to do that. This group meeting is a wonderful place to invite guests through because they get to check us out and see what we like. We've got many guests with us today that have got to drink in our culture a little bit. It's a powerful experience because hopefully this is the way you guys feel now who've been guests with us today, that you realize if you join eXp, yes, it's a cloud-based business. Yes, we're all independent contractors. Yes, it's freedom and it's all of the wonderful things we enjoy about freedom and not having a boss, but you're not going to be isolated. Hopefully you're getting that impression. This is a vibrant, collaborative, healthy, loving community of people that you're going to land in when you join eXp. Hopefully you've got that message this morning. So that's why we love inviting people into our family time meeting. So let's do that. Set a goal. If you don't know what goal to set a goal to bring 10 people. Why don't you make it 20 to this live model explained on the Thursday, and then we get them into the family time the following Monday. Okay, there's a little strategy for you. Right, my last slide. Timing has worked well this morning. This is one of the other people that I had coffee with, Michael Edwards. So Michael is one of the executives of eXp, and he is the head of the NPS survey initiative for the whole of eXp. So you'll know that from time to time you get an email asking you to fill in a feedback form. Okay, that's an NPS survey. This is the guy that heads it up globally. And I know him through sitting on the global council together. And I actually said to him over coffee, let's put together a survey just for my group in South Africa. And then you can launch it to us. Okay, so if you've been looking for an opportunity to make suggestions, to give feedback, to constructive feedback to eXp on how things are, if you've wanted to give some feedback, you are about to get a golden opportunity to do that. So what I've done is I've invited Michael to attend our next family time meeting. He will explain how this custom-built survey just for the Steve Johnston team is going to work. And then we're going to launch it to you guys, and all of you can fill it in, and you can give your feedback. And they do take the feedback very seriously. You can give feedback about what's happening in South Africa, or you can give feedback about whatever's happening with eXp globally. So things you're happy with, things you want to see more of, things you want to encourage them to do, things you want to change. You're welcome to give any feedback you want to on these studies, and they don't take it personally. They really do take it seriously. So that's the other thing that I've organized for us, is for Michael to join us on our next family time meeting. All right, we've got a couple of minutes left, so let's open it up to you guys for comments and questions. Just please raise a hand, and then I'll pick you out. You're welcome, guys. Any comments and questions? You're very welcome. Shanae, go for it.
Hi, Steve. It's Lydia here. Lydia and Shanae. Welcome back. We are so happy to have you, and everything sounds so exciting. Very, very happy about the training. Can't wait for that. So in these slower months, the winter months, we're going to go into the summer with a boom. But thank you so much, and looking forward to Build 24. Oh, that's going to be excellent speakers.
I'm only doing it, Lydia, if you are still on the committee.
I'm on the committee always. Thanks,
Cool.
Steve.
Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Shanae. Brian.
Yeah, I've already bought 10 tickets for next year. Doesn't matter if it's Two Oceans Marathon or not, but I've got to schedule in the importance of the business versus running. But yeah, I'm looking forward to all this training from some of the top guys in the world. But obviously your model explained is going to be a biggie to invite people to as well. So I encourage everybody to, attend, whether you're going to build teams or not. But I've taken the lead, well, I hope, and ordered 10 tickets already. That's how serious I am about building this business.
Thanks,
or my
Brian.
legacy, put it that way.
Brian, do you know the Two Oceans date? Because I do not want to choose that weekend, because even the flights are impossible to get into Cape Town.
I will let you know. Yeah, I don't know it offhand. I haven't entered yet. I know the blue VIP members who've done more than 10. I saw that email, but I think it might be the same as this year, where it was after Easter, but I'll confirm.
Okay, if anybody else knows the date of Two Oceans for next year, please send it to me on WhatsApp so that I don't.
13th and 14th of April.
Okay, I see it there. 13, 14 April. Okay. Well, that's much later than I would have the Build conference anyway.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Brian.
Okay,
Christine.
Steve, from my heart, just a huge thank you for everything that you do for us. What you put together for this team is so tremendous. It is so vast. I wish I can get into everything. but the way you equip us and the resources you give to us, I don't have time to get into everything, and it is just there. And so just from my heart, a huge, huge thank you for what you've done up to now and for what you are still planning for the future. I'm glad to be part of this team.
That's wonderful, Christine. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
and of course, the beauty of eXp is that I'm benefiting as well. We're all benefiting together. So it's a great pleasure. Thank you, Elmarie.
Yes, Steve, I also just want to say thank you for you putting out the money and bringing all of this information back to us. We really do appreciate you. Thank you.
So I actually want to make a point on that, the money. I was tempted to charge you guys for the Bill Pups coaching. The reason was one of the notes I took from Brent's talk said, when I pay attention. That's what Brent said. When I pay attention. You got to have some skin in the game. If you don't pay, you don't value things. And I've seen that through the years. But I don't want to put a stumbling block between you and Bill Pups. So yes, but one thing you do need to realize, as leaders, we watch who is involving themselves in what we do. And those are the people we give attention to. I get phone calls on the weekend from agents that never do anything. And let me tell you what I do with those phone calls. I red button them, or I just leave them. I don't answer the phone. But if you're one of the people that I see is invested and coming to Bill Pups and coming to the Model Explains and buying tickets for Build, if you're invested, you can phone me anytime, day or night, and you will have my attention. That's the way as leaders we treat this thing. You think I'm not watching. I'm watching. I know who's involved. That's the way it works. So there is some skin in the game for you, even if you're not paying for the coaching, because I'm watching who's participating. Next on the list, Karina, your mic is on. Do you want to say something? Okay. Sorry. I didn't want to overlook you if you had something to say. Sharon.
Hi, Steve. Thank you so much. You know, the collaboration that you put in our hands. If we're not successful with that, then it is your fault because you've got it all given to you on a plate. And thank you so much. You always go the second mile, motivate us, and really get us going. And I really appreciate that. And I want you to watch the Sleepy Hollow. It's starting to wake up. Watch this week. We've got a team coming aboard. And yes, Dave coming, he's in farming. So our Sleepy Hollow is definitely starting to wake up.
Sharon, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of how you have plugged away and been consistent and positive, and it's brilliant to see your team growing. So well done.
Thank you.
Theo.
Hi, Steve. I'm asking on behalf of everyone here, for the participants this morning. It's easy to email or send a WhatsApp to agents to attend this meeting for the Model Explain, but you recommend you ought to pick up the phone to call the agents.
Good point. Thanks, Theo. You're right. Phone calls far more powerful. Noreen.
Steve, hi. Thank you.
Have you got you?
Sorry, I've got my still phone going and my laptop, so therefore the feedback. Sorry about that. But I want to say thank you very, very much as well. I was part of your early coaching team in those years, and I'm doing the Blue Ocean coaching. And I think it's only me that with my mindset that I must get right. I have already invited one of my team members. I've got one new team member, and I invited some today, but I don't think they're on this call, but we keep trying.
Noreen,
Steve, thank you very much. And thank you for this wonderful platform.
No, it's a pleasure, Noreen. And it's been such and also a joy for me to watch you plug away and be consistent with what you're doing. And I was so happy to see that you'd sponsored someone. And I know that you're going to keep pushing in that direction. So thanks, Noreen. Okay, guys, 9:33. Sorry, we're a couple of minutes over, but hopefully there was enough content in there to stimulate you in one direction or another. And I will see you guys, if not before, on Krista Mayshaw's session on Thursday. I think that's going to be brilliant. So bless you guys. Have a wonderful week.